Hi everyone, my name is Kirtbir and I'm one of 4 Canadian young people participating in this year's Youth 7 Summit, which is the official youth engagement mechanism for the G7. I hope you're all staying healthy, safe, and following the advice of our healthcare professionals. And on that note, I wanted to highlight that the Youth 7 delegates have written and published a response to COVID-19. We are calling on our G7 leaders to make sure that they're paying special attention to the needs of young people and taking a youth-centric approach in their response to this global pandemic. COVID-19 will have far-reaching impacts on our economic, social, mental, and physical well-being, and we need to make sure that our leaders are including us in their response. Equally, we wanted to highlight that young people have a really important role to play in mitigating the impact of this virus. We can help our communities and participate in policy making, but we need our governments to create the space to allow us to do that and meaningfully engage us in this process. So the COVID response is the result of policy proposals from young people from all of the G7 countries, as well as the EU. From the Canadian delegation's perspective, we really wanted to ensure that governments are prioritizing learning about the long-term impacts of COVID-19 on all young people, that they're engaging us in their response and ensuring that we are included in the creation of a resilient society that can cope with future challenges. We wanted to make sure that our institutions are protected, and this includes health and social care services, educational institutions, as well as charities who are very much on the front lines of this pandemic. And we also wanted to push for inclusive recommendations, so making sure that the poorest and the most vulnerable communities and young people are prioritized and have equitable access to health and social care services. So this was our first experience negotiating with each other. This is naturally a challenging process because we all have different priorities, but it was made harder by the fact that we were negotiating or working over a shared document or over the phone while being in completely different time zones. It was definitely a good exercise in working flexibly and adapting to this new normal. What was surprising was that we agreed on a lot of points, so we're equally committed and passionate about the need for our governments to prioritize young people. But to some extent, the fact that we had so much to say was indicative of the fact that our governments aren't thinking about young people's needs the way that they should be. But we weren't discouraged by this. I think it draws attention to the fact that more than ever, what we're doing is important because we're in the middle of a global crisis. And I think overall, I was really amazed by the different policy proposals that young people were bringing to the table, and really inspired by the resilience of young people, especially in the face of adversity. So as a group, we agreed that the G7 leaders' statement doesn't adequately address the impact of COVID-19 on the lives of young people. Right now, over 1 billion young people are out of school. We're on the front lines of this crisis working as health or youth care workers. Our social services are impacted, our mental well-being is at risk, and lots of young people still don't have access to basic healthcare services or clean water. We're demanding our G7 governments to meaningfully engage young people and take urgent action to prioritize our needs and safeguard our futures. We hope you'll read and share our COVID-19 statement, but we also want to hear from you with regards to which policy areas and issues we should be prioritizing at this year's Youth 7 Summit. Our work is split into 4 policy tracks. That's education and jobs, peace and security, global trade, and energy. And we want the opinions of young people in Canada to inform our recommendations. So we'll be launching a survey on April 6th. Please make sure you're looking out for this on all of our channels and make sure you send us your thoughts. Thanks.